All right, hello, welcome back to another video log. This is ya boy, the Flying Pig, aka Diego, and I am here to talk about the game that we're about to start with Andrew. So we are basically moments away from starting the game, and we basically went over the rules. We did a little bit of revisions over the rules and try to clarify some things, and now we are actually ready to play. So if you see my last video, I go into great detail on all the rules we're going to play. I do want to apologize if the video is a drag. It's just a lot of information, but that's just the nature of a game like Europe Engulfed. Some of these things are just very information intensive. But with that said, I can now talk about a little bit of the revisions done for this game. And so I'm excited for the game again, and here we go. The biggest change I can think of that we've done when compared to the previous version of the rules is to basically make the guns and butter rule in effect for the entirety of the game following the fall of France. So Germany's production will actually go down following the Battle of France and will stay down for the entire game. Of course, as Germany takes more resources and secures more parts of Europe, their industry will go up, but inherently by default, Germany's industry will go down. And I think it makes sense. There's a lot of historical reasons as to why Germany was overstrained in its effort to economically supply all of Europe because there was really no economies of Europe anymore once Nazi Germany occupied the whole area. So, in fact, in an effort to create a grand Third Reich, the Third Reich actually got weaker because it had to secure more. So, I realized that in my last video, the reason why I got so long is because I had all these historical details that I was talking about. So maybe I should slow down a little bit with that so I don't make this video too long. Other rules that were changed include basically the upgrade mechanism for the bombers and fighters. They're actually based off of the second edition of the Europe Engulfed rule book. I actually didn't have a copy of the second edition, but thankfully Andrew did. And so upon looking on those on that edition, the second edition, the rules were different than what I had remembered. So basically, the way the rules go, in order to upgrade the bombers, you have to basically have 10 bombers survive the raids on Germany. And in addition to that, to upgrade the fighters, at least 20 bombers need to be shot down. So different mechanic than what I was thinking of. Besides that, I can't really say that the rules have changed all that much. So, you can see here, I basically have, I hope my little user screen isn't in the way. So I'm going to move my little camera here in the corner because sometimes it moves around a bit and I just really don't want it to be in the way. I think if I put it here, it should be out of the way. But basically, yeah, all the 13 rules, including the 3 extra ones, like guns and butter. Those are the 3.5 rules. You can find those in the forums. You have the 14.2 special action rules, increase and decreases. We have the optional political rules, some of my favorite, and then the 14.4 miscellaneous rules, including the rules I just mentioned. And we made the fighter conversion go both ways. I've talked about this in my last video. Again, Albania will act as a non-home area supply source, provides supplies to Italian units, but won't allow Italy to build units in Albania. Soviet partisans can exist in the Pripyat marshes. I kind of want them to exist in Minsk as well, but for this game, we'll just leave it in the Pripyat marshes. And then what else do we have? We have U.S. production. There was one modification here, which was suggested by Andrew, to basically have, by default, grant Germany the ability to build one U-boat, irrelevant to how many Atlantic ports they control. And with that said, it basically allows Germany to build the 8 U-boats per turn once they secure everything from Norway to France. So just basically one extra U-boat per turn. Nice little feature there. So, if Germany controls 7 Atlantic ports from Trondheim to Bordeaux, you know, eight U-boats can still be built. The night bombing is basically the same, except one thing that we've added is that the returning night bombers only count as half for the improved bombers, meaning that if the Allies only do night bombing, they're going to have to return not 10, but rather 20 bombers to upgrade their heavy bombers. So nice little touch there. And then we're kind of still sticking to the same Soviet conscription rule. I noticed that this rule may not make much sense in the later stages of the game, but this rule requires more play testing more than anything else. So we're going to keep it as it is. It's still a really cool rule, and it's definitely going to play. It's definitely going to change the Operation Barbarossa playing style quite a bit, I think. The outpaced logistics, I think I've talked about. Basically, if any unit is moving in an area too quickly, that's basically enemy territory. They will lose a step automatically at the end of the turn, kind of like partial supplies. And this has irrelevant of the river crossings. It just has to do with the distance. So this is obviously going to slow down Germany in its effort to take Moscow in the first turn. That's what motivates this rule. But it may also slow down the Allies if they're trying to blitz into West Germany. It may slow down the Soviets if they try to blitz into, you know, East Germany, let's say. And it will definitely affect North Africa as well. So I kind of like that. And then let's see what else. And then, of course, we have the new extra supply infrastructure rule. Haven't changed this rule, and it's probably my favorite. So that's pretty much the end of this video. What I'll have to do now is actually set up the Vassal game. So this is the text file or the Vassal file I'm going to send to Andrew. And you can see that you know, the setup is pretty much the 1939 setup. You can see German units in Germany, French units in France, Polish units are ready for war as well. I've added all the extra, upgrade or construction cards. I just stack them all here. So the building fleets, building flat guns, the minor axis step, and so on. I also have some of the special German weapons like the 262, V2, V1, which will come into the later stages of the game, 1944. Here's the Soviets. And so what we need to do is I need to activate the fog of war aspect of the game and basically let him set up his own forces. Because he's playing as the Allies, I'm playing as the Axis. It's the perfect setup. I can't wait to play as Germany. And my strategy, I have yet to give it away, but I will say it's going to be a very unique strategy. I'm probably not the first one to do it, but upon historical analysis, I'm beginning to think the strategy I'm trying to develop here may be Germany's best chances of winning the war. And it's going to be different, inherently different than what we see historically, which basically Germany does a all-out blitz against the West and then against the East, basically. And upon reflection, I may have to make some modifications there. So, you know, if I haven't said enough, very excited for this game, and I hope to see you in the next video.